Christina is a neonatal nurse looking at a pair of newly delivered, high-risk premature twins. The babies arrived at just 27 weeks, and their lungs are not ready to breathe independently. Standard medical practice requires administering a prophylactic surfactant, a medicine that promotes lung development. But the attending neonatologist has not ordered the treatment. Christina wants to remind him, but she stops herself. Just a week earlier, she watched this doctor publicly berate another nurse for questioning an order. She faces a choice: remind him and risk being belittled, or stay silent and hope the babies are fine. She tells herself the doctor must have a reason for his decision. He knows better than she does. So she chooses to manage her image rather than the medical risk, and the doctor walks away to finish his morning rounds. Christina was making a split-second interpersonal risk calculation. Humans do this constantly, both consciously and subconsciously, attempting to control how others perceive us by regulating what we say. This silence keeps the individual safe in the moment. But when people sit on their hands to avoid looking disruptive, the organization loses its ability to catch errors or improve its processes. Psychologists refer to this tendency as discounting the future. It happens when our brains underweight the importance of a long-term outcome, like a patient's health or a project's success, because those consequences will take time to play out. At the same time, we overweight the immediate threat of a negative social reaction. The fear of being embarrassed right now often feels more urgent than the risk of a failure later. Because humans are biologically wired to avoid social rejection, entire companies underperform. Their smartest people hold back their best ideas, simply to avoid the immediate discomfort of a difficult conversation. Many managers still rely on the assumption that fear is a powerful motivator. They believe that if people are afraid of the consequences of underperforming, they will work harder to avoid mistakes. However, when we feel threatened, the brain activates the amygdala. This is our automatic alarm system designed to detect and respond to danger. An activated amygdala consumes significant physiological resources. It shunts energy and blood flow away from the parts of the brain that manage working memory and process new information. This shift leaves the analytical centers of the brain under-resourced. When the brain is focused on social survival, it struggles to handle the metabolic demands of creative insight or complex problem-solving. For any job that requires collaboration or learning, fear acts as a biological blockade. The human brain cannot reach its highest performance while occupied with detecting threats. Psychological safety is the belief that the work environment is safe for interpersonal risk-taking. It's the expectation that you won't be punished for asking for help or admitting a mistake. This concept requires a level of candor that goes beyond being nice. It is about creating a climate where productive disagreement and the free exchange of ideas are expected, even when they are uncomfortable. It is also distinct from individual trust. While trust is a private expectation between two people, psychological safety is a group-level climate. It describes the immediate experience of the team as a whole. Building this safety removes the mental brakes that keep people from contributing. It does not replace high-performance standards. Rather, it provides the environment necessary to reach them. We can map out different workplace cultures by looking at the relationship between performance standards and psychological safety. In the apathy zone, both standards and safety are low. People show up to work, but they choose self-protection over exertion, often spending their energy on social media or office politics instead of the task at hand. The comfort zone has high safety but low standards. People enjoy working together, but because they aren't challenged, there is very little engagement, innovation, or learning. In the anxiety zone, standards are high but safety is low. This creates an environment where people are too anxious to speak up, leading them to hide mistakes rather than resolve them. This is the quadrant where Christina and her medical team were operating. It is a common state for many modern, high-pressure organizations that prioritize goals over the climate needed to achieve them. When managers enforce high standards without building safety, they lose the information they need to catch errors. The silence of the team makes it difficult to see where a project is actually heading until it is too late to course correct. The ideal is the learning zone. When high standards are met with high psychological safety, teams are able to collaborate and navigate the uncertainty of complex work. Imagine Christina in this environment. Because she feels safe, She doesn't hesitate to ask the neonatologist about the medication. She assumes her voice is appreciated, even if the doctor has a reason to wait. In this version, the babies receive the medicine. The doctor thanks Christina for the reminder, and the team uses the moment to institute a new protocol, turning a single question into a permanent improvement for the entire unit. Hiring smart people is a start, but it isn't a guarantee of success. Leaders must set high standards as the engine of the organization, but they must recognize that psychological safety is the only fuel that allows that engine to run.